Hi guys, welcome back to the Star Wars figure review. Now next up in the reviews today, we're going to be giving a look at one of the figures from the vintage collection, and that is one of the realistic Clone Wars interpretations, and this time it is Obi Wan Kenobi. So I gave you a look at Anakin Skywalker last time, so this is how we're looking at his old master. Now before we look at him properly, we'll take a look at the packaging this one comes in. As you can see, it's the traditional vintage collection card back with sort of a photorealistic painting here of Ewan McGregor, sort of painted to be in the Obi-Wan General's armour. With a bit of a Battle of Geonosis background there, as indicated by the gunship here. This just looks like a scene from the Battle of Geonosis with Obi-Wan sort of photoshopped over it from Attack of the Clones. As promo images, you might know what I'm referring to, but it's a good image to show Obi-Wan in action. That could of course be representative of the second Battle of Geonosis, which happened in season 2 of the Clone Wars. But it's a great callback. I really like the look of this one, for just one that we haven't really got as a movie character. Technically not a movie character, this one is, as this one's always appeared in animation, not in live action. And on the back here we have the other figures available in the wave. So as you see, this is the reissue version of Obi-Wan. I gave a look at Anakin in this line, and I've also given you a look at Darth Maul in this wave. So it's the last of these figures that I've got to show off in this part of the collection. I don't get too much of the vintage collection figures these days, but there's a few I'm going to try and get my hands on to have a look at and review. So yeah, I do have one of the figure in its Black Series release on there, Commander Wolf, so I might just review that one just to sort of show it off there. But this is a great card back for the vintage collection, worth having just for what it is. I mean for a minted box collector, this one goes well, and just the way they've managed to Photoshop Ewan McGregor into the Obi-Wan gear and just sort of Photoshop the whole idea in there just works really well. So that's what I got for the card back there. Now we take a look at the figure himself, and they've done a good job in making this one look realistic too, because they're basically taken the face of Ewan McGregor from Revenge of the Sith, which I will get the camera to try and focus on there, and they've basically superimposed that, then given the entire suit from his Clone Wars armour entirely down there. And here's a look at the basic animated style of Obi-Wan. You can see there's quite a difference there between the two. And it's just what it is. This one's basic from 2008. They've got the basic armor design, whereas this time they've gone into really making it look in the live action style. You've got weathering all along him there. His Jedi insignia symbol there too. There's plenty of goodness to show off what this character is and who he is. But the weathering is really what makes this figure a real step up in comparison to this one. You've got some of it, but it's not as great in comparison to it. But this one's always good for the shelf, because I have this one on the basic shelf of figures that I have, which is just behind me, and this one goes in my cabinet with the other realistic Clone Wars renditions of characters that I have. So yeah, that is Obi-Wan Kenobi there. Run down the articulation, you have a ball jointed head, ball hinge shoulders and elbows, swivel wrists, swivel waist, swivel hips, ball hinge knees and ball hinged ankles. And you can already see that some of this is taken immediately from Clone Troopers, because the legs are clearly just taken from clone figures and put there, because a lot of Obi-Wan's armour during this time is clone armour. So that's basically just taken from Clone Trooper figures, but the arms are more original designed, as they've tried to match the armour style of those in the Clone Wars. You can even mark it in. It's just things that they've gone into making that bit notable. Like they've got the little bump there for his armour that stands out here, and it closes in there, so you have that, whereas you don't have that on the original Obi-Wan. You have the shape of it, but no actual spot indicated where it would usually go. So that's what they have there. But everything else, for what it is great. We also get an unlit lightsaber hilt, which clips onto the belt. This is something this figure really improves on over Anakin, because Anakin had an unlit lightsaber hilt, but nowhere on the belt to clip it onto. So this is something that at least this one's sort of corrected on. So at least we got it for one of them. And we also get the lit lightsaber too, and it's just the basic Obi-Wan's Episode 3 lightsaber. It's really well sculpted, stands out there well. It's got the vibrant blue blade that we have of it, so we just know it's from the Clone Wars. But that's just a good addition there. Excuse me. But I'll give a proper close-in look now at the figures. Run down, as I said, the weathering points earlier that I've seen there. We get a soft goods spot here. That's an upgrade over this one to state as well. There's the soft goods layer part of the tunic on the lower part, whereas on the here it's sort of two separate pieces in plastic goods. So at least we got that upgrade there, and that's worked for me because over the years this one has actually split on the back. As I move that leg back, this one's actually split for me over the years. So it's just this one. I'm just being delicate with this one whenever I have my hands on it. Whereas this one is the soft goods part of things. So yeah, there's a full rundown now of his armour. Just the little weathering points that he's had, sort of dust points. You know, he's been in action, and just, yeah, the little details that gone into. They even put his comlink on there. Like, that's how good that is. And then just further down on that side, I'll flip him round, and you can see the armour weathering there. So that's all good. Just the back there, they've really put in all the wrinkles for the creases for his tunic, which he is clearly wearing underneath, like his Jedi tunic. You've got the sort of Episode 3 style for what he would wear in that movie, and you can just see it all sort of embedded in the back of the robes, and the same comes in on here. Like, all the different, like, Hasbro have really gone out to make this look realistic. Like, even the facial sculpt there, they've really done their job well with this. Like, they released it back in like 2011, 2012, and it sort of it fared well there, and it's just fared well again here. Obi-Wan in his Clone Wars armour in a realistic. Now, there is one thing I will give this one more credit for, was the accessories given, because this one only just gives you the lightsaber and the lightsaber hilt unlit, whereas this one came with a handful of different accessories. You had a jetpack, or sort of rocket pack that could go on the back there with a launching missile, and you also had a clone trooper helmet that was specifically designed for Obi-Wan. They came with this, and this comes without any of that kind of stuff, so it's a shame we didn't get like accessories to this level for what we had with him. But we on just the entire design. I think just the full design of the Obi-Wan sort of makes up for it. I mean, it would have been nice to have had something a little add on as well, rather than just basic figure with a weapon. So that is where this one does sort of build up, have an upside. But aside from that, this one is the more superior one to get. So if you are able to get your hands on this one, do get it, especially if you're someone who likes Clone Wars figures and wants realistic interpretations of the characters, because they've released over the years, they've released Anakin and Obi-Wan. They've also released Ahsoka and Mace Windu, so there's plenty you can get there. I've got all four in my cabinet on the side, and this one even just goes really well with the Commander Cody figure from the Vintage Collection. So you've got that. If you've got any 212 attack battalions, you want a General Kenobi in his army, this is a good one to go for if you want to make it Clone Wars specific. Though if you want to do it, yeah, that just depends on what you want to do, whether you want it to be Clone Wars specific or movie specific. This is just a good one to do it with regardless. So yeah, so that is Obi-Wan in his Clone Wars armour. A great figure, just a great addition to your collection. If you're a fan of Obi-Wan, or you're just a fan of Clone Wars figures, it's worth having just for anyone who likes that kind of thing. Every bit of detail it's gone into, and just the realistic style it has, it works as an Obi-Wan figure. And yeah, that's all I have to say on this. I enjoyed looking at him. Do drop the like on this video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, and there's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All links are down there in the description below. But I shall see you next time.